Have you ever wondered if one day you'd have to leave your beloved home and live somewhere that doesn't really feel like yours? Have you ever feared that when you grow weak, your children might take you to a place called a nursing home, where everything is taken care of except for the two most important things, love and freedom? I've lived with that fear. And then I entered a nursing home hoping to be cared for, to grow old in peace. Now I'm 82 years old. I've lived most of my life, made many decisions, but if you ask me which one I regret the most, without hesitation, I'd say moving into a nursing home. Why? I don't say this to blame anyone. The truth is, I'm well cared for. The place is clean, I have friends, and all living conditions are decent. I get regular meals, nurses check my health every day, and someone is always nearby when I need help. So what do I regret? Before I answer that, let me just say, there are things in life that no comfortable bed or on-time meal can replace. And today, I want to share my story. If you're thinking about moving into a nursing home, or if your family is considering it for you, I hope you'll stay with me through this video, because what I'm about to share may help you avoid the regret I've been living with for the past 2 years. Let's begin. Regret 1. Losing my personal freedom. I used to be an independent woman. Every morning I woke up when my body told me to, not because of an alarm or a nurse knocking on my door. I made my own coffee, listened to the radio, and walked around the garden. I loved choosing what to eat, what to wear, whether to read or go out to buy a few fresh vegetables. But when I moved into the nursing home, everything changed. Breakfast is served at 7 a.m., whether I'm fully awake or not. Medication is handed out at scheduled times. At home, I could walk outside whenever I wanted, enjoy the flowers, listen to birds, sip my coffee in the garden. Here, even when I really want to go outside, I have to wait until someone's available to push my wheelchair or walk with me. Little by little, I stopped making decisions for myself. Everything runs on someone else's schedule. And my job? Just follow along. But the worst part isn't just living by someone else's routine. It's the quiet realization that you no longer live your own life. And yet, that's not even the deepest regret. I thought losing freedom was the hardest thing until I felt something colder, deeper. Regret. 2. Feeling forgotten. Back then, my home was full of life every weekend. My grandkids ran around laughing. My children bustled in the kitchen, cooking my favorite meals or tidying up the house. And me? I just sat there, watching, smiling. I didn't have to do much, but I was a part of it all. When I moved into the nursing home, everyone said, "Don't worry, Mom, we'll visit all the time." And at first, they did. Once a week, then every 2 weeks, then every few months. Maybe life got too busy. Visits turned into quick phone calls. Phone calls became fewer. Now, whenever I hear footsteps in the hallway, I hope it's one of them. But it's usually just someone bringing medicine, food, or clean sheets. I don't blame my family. I know they love me. But when you're no longer near, it's easy to be forgotten. And that hurts deeply, especially on holidays when other families visit, and I'm left staring at the Christmas tree through the window, lost in distant memories. You begin to feel like you're still alive, still here, still waiting. But the world keeps moving on, as if you're no longer in it. Every day I sit next to a silent phone, like it's always out of battery. Loneliness at this age isn't about having no one nearby. It's the feeling that you're no longer an important part of anyone's life. Regret 3. Losing my sense of purpose. One day, I sat quietly by the window and tears suddenly filled my eyes. Nothing bad had happened. No one said anything mean. I just missed something simple, something I used to do for decades. Watering the flowers on my porch. Rain or shine, I'd carry out that old watering can and talk to my plants like they could hear me. When they bloomed, I'd cut a few stems and place them on the table. Just seeing them made me happy. I cooked for my kids, knitted scarves for my grandkids, waited for them to come home. Back then, I felt like every day had something to look forward to. I felt alive. Now I stare at flower beds I didn't plant, filled with unfamiliar soil that don't need my care. I can't touch them, can't dig in the dirt, can't feel that sense of nurturing something with love. Meals are prepared for me, everything is done for me. And suddenly, I realized no one needs me anymore. No one's asking me to brew tea, taste the soup, or mend a torn shirt. Everything here is handled, meals served, laundry folded. Nothing is required of me. It may sound peaceful, but it's actually empty. Time slows down. Every day repeats, eat, sleep, sit, wait. With no purpose, joy fades. And worse, I started losing myself. I asked, why am I even here? Regret 4. My health declined faster than I thought. When I entered the nursing home 2 years ago, I was 80. Yes, I was old, but I could still walk. Slowly, yes, but steadily. I even climbed stairs at home, step by step, to open the windows each morning and let in the sunlight. I may have been shaky, but I felt in control. Then, just a few months here, on a single flat floor, no steps, I noticed my legs weakening. Not because of illness, but because I simply stopped using them. Here, someone always pushes the wheelchair or tells me, "Don't walk too much, you might fall." At first I agreed. I thought I needed to rest. But the more I rested, the weaker I became. Now just standing up from bed makes me breathless. I've lost my legs, not because they failed, but because I stopped using them. An old man once told me, just sitting every day can age you 10 years faster. Now I know exactly what he meant. Regret 5. Losing my privacy and dignity. I used to have a cozy little room at the end of the hallway. It had a garden view, warm sunlight every morning, and silence when I needed it. That room was my sanctuary, my space. Now, I still have a private room, but only on paper. The door is always left ajar. Nurses come in at any time, when I'm dressing, resting, or just wanting to be alone. They call me kindly, but impersonally. "Ma'am, it's time for your pills," or "Room 3 needs a shower today." I know they mean well, but inside, I feel diminished. Once, I was struggling to put on my favorite sweater, one my daughter knitted years ago, when a nurse walked in and said, "Let me help. You'll be faster that way." She meant no harm, but in that moment, I felt like a child, no longer in charge of my own body. Things I once did privately, bathing, using the toilet, now require pressing a button, waiting, and letting someone help, whether I'm comfortable or not. I stopped asking. I stayed quiet. But inside, I knew I had lost part of the dignity I spent a lifetime protecting. I used to be a woman who drove herself to church, cooked for the whole family during holidays. Now I'm the lady in room 3 who needs help to use the bathroom. And the most painful part? I'm starting to get used to being called that. Regret 6. It's harder to leave than you think. Some things you think you're only giving up temporarily, but then you realize you may never get them back. Privacy, dignity, the feeling of being the master of your own life. At first, I kept telling myself, this is just temporary. I'll rest here for a while, then go back to my house. It sounded simple enough, but I didn't realize that just for a while could quietly become forever. I remember the afternoon I called my daughter. Softly, I said, I feel better now. I'd like to come home for a while, if that's okay. There was a long pause. Then she gently asked, Are you sure, Mom? There are doctors there, people to care for you. Who would take care of you at home? I knew she meant well, but in that moment I realized leaving isn't as easy as I thought. My body was weaker. My home had gathered dust after being empty for too long. My family had grown used to the idea. Mom is at the nursing home now. And so, I stayed. Not because I chose to, but because there was nowhere else to go. What I thought was a temporary arrangement had quietly become permanent. A door closed, and I no longer had the strength to open it again. A final message to you. Thank you for listening to my story. Just knowing someone is out there, listening, makes me feel a little less alone. Please leave me a comment. Share one thing you realized today, and how you plan to cherish your life a little more from now on. I read every comment because they remind me I'm still heard, still connected. Let me be clear. I'm not telling this story to scare you, and I'm not saying nursing homes have no value. There are kind, dedicated caregivers here. Some people truly need medical attention that only a facility like this can provide. But even so, I wish someone had told me these truths sooner. If I could go back, I would have done everything I could to stay in my own home, hire help, ask neighbors, pay for a nurse, anything, so I could hold on to my freedom in my own space a little longer. So if you or someone you love is facing this decision, please ask yourself honestly, is this really the best option for me? Or is it just the easiest one right now? Because the life you have now, the little routines, the freedom to choose, the ability to decide what to do and how to live, those are the most precious things we have left in our later years. Life isn't just about eating on time or getting enough sleep. It's about choosing what to wear, when to go for a walk, what you feel like eating, and calling your grandchildren just because you miss them. Those are the things I've lost, and if I could turn back time, I would hold on to them just a little longer. I hope my story helps you see more clearly before making such an important decision. Hold on to your freedom, and if you can, fight for it. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this video. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it, so others won't have to carry the same regrets I do. I'm still here, and I hope to see you in the next video. Warmly, an 82-year-old woman who still remembers the smell of morning coffee in her little kitchen.